What is going on, everybody? I have a bit of an exclusive preview here. We have the One Piece film Shanks deck available early. So we have a test game here featuring the blue purple crocodile and of course the film Shanks leader. Now, I've seen a lot of people, kind of underwhelmed with the Shanks leader just because of the fact that there aren't a ton of purple film cards yet outside the deck. However, I think there are a ton of really strong cards in the film deck, such as Douglas Bullet, and also that option card that gives plus 4k and then makes your character unkillable. It's pretty crazy. So, and also Buena Festa is really nice as well. So, outside of that, I think the deck's really cool. Uda's insane as well. I'm going to place one under my Crocodile here, and I'm going to pass turn back to my opponent here. And, just kind of feeling out. I've never played against the purple matchup for Shanks, so I don't really know how it works. So I'm going to counter with Spada and Martial D-Teach. I want to do that because I want to see top 3 cards in my deck. I want to reorder them here, and then I want to draw a card off my leader effect. That's the main reason why I dumped 2 there. I don't think I'll ever really use Teach in this matchup because the low end stuff I can swing over and the high end stuff I can just get rid of. So I'll swing leader here for 6k after playing a Miss All Sunday, and they're going to counter with the Sasaki. Just keeping themselves topped up. They have the blocker out. I have my blocker out here, so I'm not super duper worried about getting any damage in. They're going to swing at me. I'll block with Miss All Sunday to get my Desert Spada back. And then they're going to play an Ein, which on play does add a Arrested Dawn from the Dawn deck. So again, I think Ein's also a pretty good card here. Helps you ramp up. Makes it so you don't rely on Onigashima Island at all. I'll pay 3 for Sunday, 1 for Trafalgar Law, and then I'll swing leader, which they'll block. So again, I got some blocker presence on the board, just protecting my life here. And so they'll go ahead and they'll play the Buena Festa, look for a Douglas Bullet, because that card is super important. If you can get a Douglas Bullet out early, it's really hard for your opponent to deal with it. It puts so much pressure on the board roasting blockers at 10k, as well as the fact that you can't really delete it with anything or bottom deck it with anything. Means that if you can't deal with that Douglas Bullet and they've stalled long enough to have him relevant, you're likely going to lose the game. So they're going to swing Shanks. I'll play Desert Spada here. Reveal top 3. I reveal like a bunch of Blast Breath, so I'm just going to put that to the top of my deck again. Draw a card off the leader effect here. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, man. So they're going to tap 4 to play another Ein to act from the Dawn, because that's means next turn there's a Bullet coming out. They're going to pass back turn to me here after swinging with Ein. And I'm just thinking if I want to block it or not. So I block with Missile Sunday to grab back the Spada to my hand. All in all, pretty straightforward play. And passing back turn to me here. So active 2 more Dawn. And now is where I can start, getting a bit of swings in here. So I'm going to add Dawn my Croc here to swing at the Ein. And they're going to let that go through, which is fine. And then I'll pay 5 to drop a Queen, Dawn -1, draw 2 cards, trash 1 card. In the situation, I want to keep my hand topped up, and there's cards I'm not going to be playing a lot of in here. So I'm just kind of thinking about what I want to pitch, what's going to be useful in this matchup. I think that I end up pitching a King, because I don't, yes, King's good, but he's not going to deal with any of their high-end cards. And the only card that I really want to use him on right now is their Ein. So I'm not really too thrilled on having him right now. He's going to swing 8k at me, and then I'll block, and I'll counter with Bon Carré and Martial D-Teach here. They'll use the effect of Shanks to give everyone with film plus 2k. So Carlo's at 5, Ein's at 7, and Buena Festa's at 2 right now. Which is, I think that's pretty strong, because that means you can just put 3 Dawn or Buena Festa, even though he's a 0, and still get swings in that leader, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. So they're going to swing 7 at my leader. I'll block with Law. And then they're going to go ahead and they're going to swing at my Queen with their Carla. And I'll use Desert Spada and a Queen to counter it. Reveal top 3. Place it back in the same order, and then I'll draw a card. And then they're going to drop an Uda. The 4-cost Uda is so good. On block and bottom deck a card. Which is super duper nice. So I'm going to go ahead and try to play around the Uda right now. So I'll swing at the Karina, sorry. Not Carla. Karina with Croc for 6. Force out a bunch of counters here. Or a blocker. So they're going to let that go. And then I'm going to go ahead and load up 3 Dawn on my queen here and swing at their Ein, I believe. Make sure I have 5 left. Swing at the Ein here. And they can either block it or not, which is fine. So then I'll pay 1 for Law, and then I'll pay 3 for Missile Sunday, and then leaving 1 Dawn up for a Blast Breath that I know is in my trash, so I can always block, and then I have 3 Blast Breaths in hand, so it's pretty crazy right now. I block Missile Sunday. I think about blocking Missile Sunday first, and then I'm like, how do I want to do this? I end up playing a Blast Breath, returning Dawn to my Dawn deck, and then he has Film Effect again, so now his Uda's at 7, Buenafesta's at 2. He'll load up Uda, put her at 8, I believe, and I'll block with Missile Sunday to grab back a Desert Spada. Card's too good. And then he's going to put a bunch under Buenafesta here, and then I'll just block with my Law, because I don't want to waste too many resources on blocking a 0 drop. So now I've got, you know, a good amount down here. So I swing Croc at Buenafesta. He dies. And then my queen's at 9k right now, and so I swing 9k at Uta. And they're going to actually Blast Breath that. And use a 1k counter from Karina. And then I play a king to pop the Uda, because I was just trying to bait out cards from their hand. I had another king in hand, which is why I pitched it earlier. Drew him, so I'm just going to pitch to get rid of that Uda, which is always nice. I counter with Boncray, and then they're going to drop another Uda and a blocker, Higurashi. So I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I've got 2 big bodies out, as well as I have my 7-drop Croc out. And so I swing 6 at leader. They take a life. I swing 7 at leader. And then I pass back turn with my queen unrested, because I want to make sure that I can block some attacks, because I don't know what's going to come down this turn. They're going to pay 1 for a Buenafesta, which again, I think Buenafesta is a really great searcher, and they're going to find a Douglas Bullet. The fact that Douglas Bullet is only an 8-drop is pretty absurd to me. And then again, they're just going to drop that Douglas Bullet here, and that's a lot of pressure on me. I have to figure out how to deal with that. So he's going to swing at me with his Shanks. I'll take that. I haven't taken any life yet, and he's only got 3 left, so we're pretty even on life right now, which is not where you want to be at the situation in the game. If you're even in life with me against a character that has Banish on the board already, you're feeling pretty bad. So I swing with Croc. I swing with King. And he just thinks he wants to block it. He blocks with Uda, Dawn -1 to rest my queen. And then I swing with Croc Banish at leader. I think he should have probably not blocked my leader Croc swing, and he should have blocked my Banish Croc swing, but I mean, whatever works, right? I guess. I will play another queen here to draw 2. I know that Douglas Bullet is probably going to come down and use its effect this turn, which will rest my queen anyways. But I wanted to get some more cycle into my hand, and I wanted to get some more counter cards, because I'm going to need them to deal with this Douglas Bullet. And now I have 3 active Dawn, so even if he loads up his bullet here, like, he has to get it like super high. So what he's going to do is he's going to load up his leader here for 5, it looks like 6 maybe, who knows. He's just trying to figure out the best way to use the Shanks leader effect. Again, it's our first time playing with this leader, and it's kind of awkward to use his effect, because you want to make sure that you leave enough Dawn up for Douglas Bullet's effect so that you get the double damage. So he'll go ahead and he'll swing for 9. I'll block with my queen, because I know it's going to go down, get suspended by Douglas Bullet's effect anyways, so I might as well block that hit. And then, I'm just reading the Douglas Bullet effect because of how crazy it is. They're going to put 4 Dawn underneath, 3 Dawn underneath. They're going to -4 for the effect. So now he's at 15k. And then they're going to swing, and they're going to rest. They're going to they're just going to swing. I will play a Blast Breath. And I'm just thinking if I want to do anything else. I'll play another Blast Breath and Desert Spada to counter out the Douglas Bullet swing. And I'll reveal top 3, and I'll rearrange, and I'll draw a card. Easy peasy. Dealt with Douglas Bullet swing. It's always nice. So at this point in the game, I am threatening lethal. He has 3 cards in hand. And I probably should just be swinging at his leader right now. But I make the mistake of going out for the Douglas Bullet. I think that's probably not the play here. I probably just go ham and just swing at leader here. But I go 7. I go 10 at Bullet here with my king. and they use 2 counter with Boy Festa, and then I go, I'll just swing at leader with my Banish Croc, I think. Just force out, like, now that he's used a counter. But then he uses the Union Armada, which is an absurd card. That's the card I was talking about earlier. That card is so good. 2 cost counter, 4K, and it makes your dude unkillable if you use it on character. Amazing card. So he's got 1 card in hand with 1 Dawn up for a Blast Breath. So I end up swinging with my Queen at life here because it's gonna get blocked, or it's gonna get the Douglas Bullet swing. It's gonna be impossible, but I end up passing back turn without swinging with my Leader Croc. And that's probably because I don't want to give him any more cards in hand at this point. He has to deal with my board, and if he does not deal with my board, he just loses the game. So again, he's going to put a bunch of Dawn underneath his leader here. And I'll pay 1 to play a Love Beam and a Desert Spada. Reveal top 3, and I'll find another Love Beam, and I'll draw that Love Beam, and then I'll also draw a 2K counter, which is nice. And then I said to him, if you're not swinging with you know, at least 15K, I will counter it. And so I do counter out of it, so I pay you know, all my cards there, and I draw a card off that. And since I have so much counter in my hand, I can just swing away. 10K at leader here, he takes it. I swing 6K at leader, which he Blast Breaths, and then I just load up my Banish Croc, and I swing away, and that's game. Purple Crocodile taking the first game against Purple Shanks, and again, Douglas Bullet is menacing, but I don't think that he is great in the Shanks deck. I think he'll do better in other purple decks. Now, just a reminder, there's not going to be any videos coming out Saturday, Sunday, or likely Monday, just because of my involvement with the Treasure Cup and the tournament that's taking place in Niagara Falls. So I want to have access to my computer, and I want to have access to things like that. But please do stay tuned. I'll have a lot of content from Treasure Cup, hopefully, at least some vlogs, as well as my thoughts about the Treasure Cup and what happened there. So please stay tuned for that. If you do like the information that you're getting, and you like the videos you're seeing, and you like the access to the decks early, please like and subscribe. And until next time, Monty out.